Directors' and officers' liability insurance is sold to corporate boards as an impenetrable shield. Executives pay massive premiums, believing it guarantees protection against lawsuits and regulatory fallout. Insurance carriers underwrote these massive policies while tracking data that showed the risks were never fully disclosed. Instead of denying the applications, the carriers embedded a trap door into the fine print. This trap targeted the architects, the corporate leaders and board members who authorized the global rollout of an experimental biological hardware platform. As these products were packaged and shipped by the millions, the executives signing off on the distribution assumed their personal assets were insulated. Behind the scenes, the insurance actuaries had already updated their models to reflect shifting mortality tables and spiking disability claims. They understood the incoming exposure, but continued collecting premiums, positioning themselves for the inevitable collapse. The D&O policy functions as a pre-written confession mechanism. It lies dormant until a specific legal trigger forces the insured to self-incriminate. In December of 2020, regulatory agencies issued an emergency use authorization for what was presented as an immediate response to a novel health crisis. A decade of prior knowledge exists, mapping the 2020 rollout against patents from 2012 and 2019. This gap activates the concealment clause. By failing to disclose these existing patents, applicants committed fraud, giving the carrier the right to void the policy from inception. This leads to the second tripwire, the intentional act exclusion. Standard liability policies strictly refuse to cover any harm caused deliberately or with reckless disregard for human safety. Because the executives possessed prior knowledge of the hardware patents before deployment, their actions cross from corporate negligence into intentional harm. The multi-billion-dollar coverage evaporates before a single claim is even filed. When class action lawsuits arrive, board members scramble to invoke their policies. They officially demand that their insurance carriers provide a legal defense for the coming litigation. The carrier responds with a reservation of rights letter, asserting the right to investigate the claim while reserving the right to deny coverage. This initiates the mirror lock effect. To secure their defense, the executive must respond to the letter, documenting their personal timeline and admitting in writing that they were aware of the hardware patents. The very act of seeking protection provides the exact written proof the insurer needs to trigger the intentional act exclusion. The reservation of rights letter transforms the executive into a self-prosecutor. They willingly hand the carrier the evidence needed to deny coverage and expose their personal assets to total ruin. The corporate veil evaporates, leaving individual directors to face the financial wreckage alone. With defense costs and potential settlements reaching into the trillions, personal homes, savings, and retirement accounts are no longer out of reach. D&O policies draw from a finite capital pool. Carriers only honor the first few claims before limits are exhausted, and the reinsurance chain collapses. This creates a 24-hour race, a high-stakes prisoner's dilemma, where survival requires betraying colleagues to secure the remaining funds. The first executive to defect gains the subrogation advantage. By filing their reservation of rights first, they become a witness for the prosecution, securing their own immunity, while the silent colleagues inherit the full weight of the master complaint. The fine print was never built to protect the powerful. These policies were engineered to fracture institutional silence, extract confessions, and ensure the architects remain personally liable for the full extent of the damages caused.